What's up, party people? This is a piece from a Libertarian Reader, Volume 3, Fighting for Freedom, 1937 to 1976, edited by Ian McKay. This piece is titled Remark on Equality by Anton Pannekoek. It's from the magazine Left from May 1950. Super excited to read this, actually, because based upon what I'm guessing it's going to be, I'm in extreme agreement with it. In this short letter, a libertarian Marxist disputes the use of Engels by an authoritarian Marxist, a Stalinist, to justify inequality within the Soviet Union. This shows the ambiguity of Marxism and the difficulties involved in developing a libertarian form of it when faced with positions of its founders which are at odds with more recent developments by self-proclaimed Marxists. So here we go. To the editor of Left. In his article, Accent on Equality, Wiggum quotes a sentence written by Engels in his Anti-Düring and derives from it that Engels was against equality of pay in socialist society. It must, be remarked first, that when Marx or Engels gave their ideas about the future, this is no indication of what the workers will have to do under socialism. Predictions are no prescriptions. And secondly, that here Engels does not speak about socialist future, but on the ideas, the demands, and the platform of the working class under capitalism. Against the confused expositions of Düring on equality as a, quote, eternal truth, end quote, he emphasizes that ideas on equality are themselves products of social conditions. The proletarian demand for equality was first a reaction against the horrible contrast between rich and poor, then a protest against the middle-class sham demand of social equality unrealizable under capitalism. Quote, in both cases, the real content of the proletarian demand for equality is the demand for the abolition of classes. Any demand for equality which goes beyond that must needs pass into absurdity, end quote. For under capitalism and against capitalism, you can demand nothing more essential, more definite, more encompassing than abolition of classes, i.e. abolition of all exploitation. What to simple minds appears as the antagonism between rich and poor is in reality the class antagonism between the exploiting owners of the production apparatus and the non-possessing exploited workers. If the capitalist should speak of his earnings as being of the same kind, only, due to his greater capability, larger than the worker's earnings, the class-conscious worker does not reply, quote, equality is a command of justice, end quote. He replies, quote, your income and mine are fundamentally different in character, namely profit and wage, because we are different classes. You, the employers, are the exploiting, we, the workers, the exploited class, and we demand and fight for mastery over the production apparatus, whereby under common ownership in a classless society, true equality will be established, end quote. Thus, what Engels did was to turn the attention from a surface phenomenon to the deep economic essence of society. New section. So the Russian official, or his Communist Party spokesman, when appealing to Engels' words, is entirely wrong. It's just the other way around. The Russian worker, instead of demanding equality of income, a senseless demand under state capitalism, should reply, quote, your income and mine are fundamentally different in character. They both have the outer form of wage or salary, because we are of different classes. You, the high officials, are the exploiting. We, the workers, the exploited class. What we have to demand, though unable to express it because we are gagged and fettered by dictatorial state power, is common ownership in a classless society in order that true equality be established, end quote. This is Engels' message to the Russian workers. New section. Engels and equality under socialism. There is, moreover, another place in Engels' Anti-Düring where he incidentally expresses his ideas on equality under socialism. Engels treats there the fact that under capitalism, skilled labor that acts as, quote, complicated, end quote, condensed labor is more highly paid because the cost reproduce and reproduce this labor power are higher. Thus descending into the economic foundations of social institutions, he says, quote, In a society of private producers, they or their families pay the cost of instruction of the skilled laborer. Hence, to the private individuals falls directly the higher price of skilled labor power. The skilled slave is sold at a higher price. The skilled wage worker gets a higher wage. In a society organized on socialist lines, society pays the costs, hence earns the fruits, the larger resulting value of complicated labor. The worker himself has no claim to a higher reward, end quote. Italics mine, Anton Pannekoek. This may suffice. Engels says here that in a socialist society, higher skill, e.g., scientific or leading capacities, afford no claim to a higher standard of life, since society itself has provided that capacity. Equality is inherent in abolition of class, in mastery of the workers over production. Inequality, in Russia as in England, testifies to class rule and class exploitation. When in Russia the ruling bureaucracy awards itself high salaries, then in England highly paid officials in nationalized industries try to impose upon the workers that this is socialism. They cannot pretend to have Engels on their side. That is a great piece. The end.